And remember, Miami's missing Storm Duck at the corner today. Rasul Douglas, the longtime veteran, starts in his place.
On third down, Stevenson runs into his own man, but still picks up the first down. Out to midfield, Minka Fitzpatrick on the tackle after a gain of 9.
He runs into Ramondre Stevenson on that one.
May fakes it, in trouble, and Drake May is sacked. Bradley Chubb with his second sack of the year. Stephon Diggs in motion. Patriots going for it. May over the middle. He's got the first down. Inside the 35 goes Stephon Diggs, and the drive continues after a gain of 10. So the Patriots started this drive with 3 straight running plays. Now this is their 5th consecutive passing play. May's got Hooper. He's got it. And Hooper is down at the 11-yard line. Austin Hooper sneaked through the Miami defense.
I wonder if Josh McDaniel wants to give him a shot here with a dagger throw into the end zone.
Fake it to Gibson. May moving, throwing, and it's caught for a touchdown. Mac Hollins, his first touchdown as a Patriot. And what an opening drive for Drake May and New England.
Action, this one. Mac Hollins, a guy that loves to show up in the run game and blocks. He comes off as if he's going to block right there and then gets to the corner right now, and he's able to celebrate with the other new guy.
It's an excellent first drive for him.
Andy Borregales for the extra point, off the upright and no good. He missed a field goal last week, and now he's off the mark on an extra point.
But that doesn't mean you come out firing all over the field. A good steady start is what these Dolphins need.
Here's Devon Achane on the carry. And Kyle Duggar makes the tackle, but not before Achane goes. This was Elijah Ponder, the undrafted rookie. 3rd down and 4. Here we go again. Tagovailoa, plenty of time. Over the middle. Dangerous pass, incomplete. And some boos from the Miami fans. May looking for Henderson on the wheel route. He's got him. And it's a first down for New England. Travion Henderson with a 15-yard pickup. Here's Henderson. The May going for the corner of the end zone to Booty. Diving attempt, and he's got it!
And this was the nightmare for us as defensive backs. A receiver that could wrap around us and end up making a play. Because that's exactly what Booty did. The coverage was actually...
Borregales missed his first extra point attempt. Back out there again, and this one is no good. 44 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Tua to Achane. Blockers ahead, flag is down. Achane still going, and Chason makes the tackle, but now we have to figure out what the flag is again. Achane goes in motion, and Tua swings it his way. Head of steam for Achane, and Achane's still going. And we'll see where they spot it, but it's very close to another Miami first down. Tyreek Hill, first time we've called his name, goes in motion. Tua finds Hill. He's got the first down, slips a tackle, and Tyreek Hill down the sideline and out of bounds. Carlton Davis forces him out after a gain of 13. Ollie Gordon in the backfield, and Tua hands it off to Malik Washington, and Washington does a good job with a head of steam down the sideline. At 12-0 in favor of the Patriots. Tua taking a shot for the end zone. Waddle is down there. Touchdown! Jalen Waddle. 12 straight drives the opponents have scored against this Miami defense. May, and Hooper has his second catch. Jalen Phillips makes the tackle for a gain of 9. How about... Hand off to Stevenson right up the middle, and Ramondre Stevenson into the open field, into Miami territory, and he muscles his way to the 38-yard line. Talked about balance. New England 13 runs, 11 passes. completely different than a week ago. May in trouble, and Drake May is taken down. Chop Robinson makes the play for Miami. Pressure's coming. May gets rid of it. Henderson makes the catch. Henderson turns it upfield, and there he goes. Lowering his shoulder, and a big bruising run after catch by Travion Henderson. He picks up 15 yards.
Made him miss and gained bigger yardage.
May rolling right, throws on the run. He's got Hunter Henry again, and Henry is chopped down at the 25-yard line.
Now, they've really struggled on those third downs, and sometimes it starts on second.
10th play of the drive. And up the middle it goes on the ground to Stevenson, who's had a monster first half for the Patriots. For New England. May, with time, his pass is deflected at the line and incomplete. Has already missed 2 extra points today. This is from 22 yards away. And Borregales is good, and a sigh of relief from the New England sideline. 2 timeouts for Miami. Tua to the air. And he's going to take a deep shot. Tyreek Hill at the 45. And a huge Tua, quick throw. Waddle on the slant, and he's got a first down. Wow, they rule him just short. It's 3rd and inches, not a first down. Tua now has a first to HN to the 34-yard line. 1 minute to go.
Yeah, you won't motion anyone here. You just want to get the line of scrimmage, get a play in motion yourself.
Tua over the middle, Achane at the 20, Achane 10, 5, Achane spinning, touchdown! Devon Achane, 29 yards, and Miami with an answer.
Dangerous man. Right here, Miami Dolphins are going to send everybody deep, and he's one-on-one with linebacker Robert Spillane, and that is a matchup that the Miami Dolphins have to love. One-on-one with anybody, any linebacker in the NFL with Devon Achane.
Look at it in one of New England's.
One of those weapons, Tyreek Hill at the bottom of your screen on 3rd down and long. Tua taking a deep shot, throwing it down the field for Hill, and he makes the adjustment in the catch. And finally, Tyreek Hill has a catch of more than 30 yards.
There's Hill down at the bottom. Waddle at the top.
Tua gets it out, and that is Achane. And he gets to the 21-yard line. Patterson, his first field goal attempt as a member of the Dolphins. And that one is good, giving Miami the lead. Let's see what they do here. 3rd and 7. May in trouble, and down he goes. A flag comes in, but it was Jordan Brooks who came across the line for the sack.
He's not just strictly a perimeter runner, although that's where you would like it more times than not.
2nd down and 10. Good protection. Tua looking for Waddle, and he holds on despite the big hit by Woodson. A gain of 23 for Jalen Waddle.
See if Spillane comes or drops out in the middle.
3rd down and 5. Tua looking for Tyreek Hill, and a beautiful pass and catch.
The new guy mashed up in front of Tyreek Hill.
On 3rd down and 11. Tua, pressure coming. Tua goes down. Tripped up as he was trying to escape. 1. 44-yard field goal attempt for Patterson. And Patterson is good again. 2nd down and 12. Jalen Phillips coming off the edge. May hangs in there and locates Stevenson at the 20. And he's tackled by Brooks at the 24-yard line. Play clock down to 2. Phillips coming again. May steps up, throws. He's got Stevenson. What a catch! Down the sideline. Stevenson cuts it back, and he's still going. Ramondre to the 20. Final minute of the 3rd quarter. Gibson takes the handoff up the middle at the 10, and it's 1st and goal, New England. Final 15 seconds of the quarter.
A Hooper on the backside of the formation, 81 in blue.
May, pressure coming by Judon. May steps up, looking to keep it. May, touchdown with a late flag. Handed off to Stevenson up the middle, and he takes it in. And New England goes back up by 3. Tua with time, and he has a man for a first down. That is Jalen Waddle. Wrapped up by Craig Woodson, but not before Waddle rumbles for 16. Tua dancing out of the pocket, trying to keep the play alive. Nobody's open, and Tua runs out of bounds. That is a great job down the field by the New England secondary to force Tua to run out. 23 on the ground, 23 through the air. Going to the air here on 3rd and long, a screen to Stevenson. And Stevenson turns it upfield. Let's see where they spot him. A great job after the catch, and he's got the first down. Back-to-back 100-yard games for Booty going back to Week 18 last year. Bad snap. May falls on it.
Back towards the quarterback.
13-yard loss on that play. Gibson on the screen, and Gibson going nowhere. Jordan Brooks finishes him off. Herringer gets it away. Another good boot, driving Washington back to his 27-yard line. He bobbles it for a second, still going as he spins forward, trying to get to the outside. Washington gets by the punter, down the sideline. Malik Washington to the house. Touchdown, Miami. 74 yards. Back for a touchdown in 5 years, Jakeem Grant in November of 2020.
The one thing, when you punt the ball that far, sometimes you outpunch your coverage, and this was just a terrific effort by Malik Washington, making the first and second guys miss, ending up in the scrum and finding his way out of it. And then the rest of it, that's what with mom and dad.
Patterson to Gibson, who gets a running start on that catch. Gibson across the 30. Antonio Gibson still going. Can he return the favor? Down the sideline. You gotta be kidding me. Back to back. A 90-yard touchdown.
Now you're like, wait, hey, if I can return them. Nice jump cut there, and then he got good wedge of blocking that he bounced off of. And once he got to the sideline, he outruns KJ Britt, the linebacker from Miami, and dives into the end zone. Back-to-back monster plays.
Play fake here. Tua on the move. And over the middle, he's got Westbrook-Akine, who stays on his feet. And that creates a first down. Hawkins finally able to bring him down after Robert Spillane missed the tackle. Tyreek Hill goes in motion. Tua back to the air. Pressure's coming. Tua able to locate Achane. Blockers ahead. Achane, another Miami first down. Harold Landry on the tackle after a gain of 12. Tua, pocket collapsing, and he still locates an open man. Tua deep over the middle, too high, and Tyreek Hill was open. Tyreek Hill was wide open, and Tua missed him. Play clock down to 2. Tua just gets the snap in time. Tua, nowhere to go, now throws, picked off! Intercepted on the play by Mapu! Marte Mapu on the INT! With shadows covering half the field, May to the air again, and that one's caught, but short of a first down by Stephon Diggs. Rasul Douglas makes a big tackle. Out of the hold of Bryce Behringer. Kick on the way, and it is good! From the 44-yard line, Tua in the shotgun. Hill in motion again. Tua locates Achane. Nice move by Achane. Hopping away from Mapu and still going. Achane, 10-5, touchdown! Achane!
Right there.
Clearly did.
Absolutely, the foot was in the white. There.
Great replay by our crew.
Get out of bounds.
Play clock winding down. Tua on 4th down. Pressure coming. Tua in trouble. Down he goes. Milton Williams.
We saw Miami and Indianapolis. Looked abysmal. They got off the deck today and gave a terrific effort. So I know it seems somewhat hollow, right, Jason? But they have to build on this for this short week trip to Buffalo